Guys, if you get a chance, I want you to go check out the new YouTube channel that myself, Finesse the Challenger, and Riding and Wrenching created. It's called Splittin' Lanes. It's a podcast style channel. And we just have a ball on this channel, guys. We talk about, of course, we talk about motorcycles, but we're going to talk about anything and everything on this channel. This is something that the three of us have always done, but we did it privately on FaceTime calls. And we just said to ourselves, you know what? The stuff we talk about, we have so much fun, and the topics are so funny sometimes. I would love to share this with everybody. And so that's why we created the podcast. Again, it's Splittin' Lanes. I'm going to put a link for it in the description section of this video. Come over and check us out, guys. Subscribe, share the video, and come laugh. Again, always positive, guys. It's always going to be positive. So we always talk about different things. We're going to have different guests and stuff like that. That's the plan. We're brand new. We're 4, 5 episodes in. So yeah, definitely check us out, guys. I appreciate it. Keep it loaded, keep it loaded, keep it loaded, keep it loaded. Very nice, I'm looking at the camera. Very nice, good, good, good. I know that a Harley-Davidson touring motorcycle can turn straight up in 18 feet without any lean. So if it could do that in 18 feet with no lean, I know I could do it, you know what I'm saying? So, but I don't need to lean here, I know that. That's what we're talking about, that thing that I was showing you. So how am I gonna start that? I'm gonna start that by turning the handlebars. Again, people don't like turning the handlebars, but we know what keeps it up. So we don't gotta worry about that. I'm gonna start Stage 2, rear brake, right from the start, because the rear brake gives us control. The problem with this is whenever I have somebody start with the handlebars turn, as soon as they open the clutch, the handlebars straighten out. Because what does the bike want to do? With power and speed, it wants to go straight. That means you're giving it too much power. That doesn't mean, that's because a lot of people don't know about the rear brake. They just clutch, everything's clutch and front brake. So if I preload the throttle, open the clutch up to 2, but rear brake, right away, there's my control. Now I'm just standing by waiting to see what I feel. Always in my feelings. If everything's good, I'm gonna keep everything where it is. If I feel the bike falling in, what do I have to add? Power, because it's falling, boom. But I'm doing all of that with the brake. My clutch is gonna stay in the same spot. So what I showed you me doing, I want you to remember that today. Don't overthink this. As long as I'm covering this brake, I'm good. That's my correction. Preload. As soon as I feel it start to move, foot up, rear brake. Just hold it. Hold it. All right. All right, clutch is all the way in. Already, see my handlebars. Preload, clutch, brake, 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 clutch, 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 clutch. Now I pull the clutch in. Without the clutch, it's just not going to happen, right? And I don't know if you were paying attention to the front suspension. 0 dive. That's what I want from you all day today. I don't always get what I want, except at home. My wife's amazing. But that's the goal. And I want it to be, again, no matter what we're doing out here today, I want you focusing on stopping the bike. Because it's the ultimate in control. It's all on you to stop this bike smoothly. Now, as I say that to you, I expect you to be doing what makes you feel comfortable is always going to resurface. And so what you're most likely going to do is this. So this time, instead of going straight up, I'm going to do a lean. So what's a lean? We talked about, everybody said they knew what a drop and catch was, right? Yes? Yeah, drop and catch. Okay, yeah, so drop and catch and throw and catch. Drop and catch is if I'm going to make a left turn. This happens all the time. People go to make a left and then the bike goes straight. Again, it's too much clutch, or it goes right. So what I need to do is I need to actually let the bike drop a little bit to the left and then catch it with the clutch. Now, the space of time between the drop and the catch is going to depend on what I want the bike to do. If I don't want the bike to lean, the cadence is drop catch. Drop catch, that's the cadence. If I want the bike to lean, it's drop catch. And the distance between that is going to depend on how much I want it to lean. Drop, catch, and then hold it right there. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to let it drop and catch it. Right? Again, it's nothing extreme. At least, it's nothing extreme. So as soon as it starts to move, let it drop, catch. Rear brake, rear brake. Look at my handlebars. See how straight they are? Look like a good stop, right?
But
yeah.
You didn't have no RPMs up, so how'd that work?
Because speed brought me into it.
I got you.
And that's what most of you are going to do. You're going to say, hey, the stop was smooth. And I'm going to say, yeah, because speed brought you into it. And that's why this first exercise, between those cones, it doesn't really allow you a lot of space to do that. Unless you do like a lot of people do. Ready, Rob? Yeah. You know, and so I'm going to be paying attention to that. I'm always looking at your handlebars. If your handlebars are bone straight, speed did it. I want you to do it. I want it to be on you. I want you to work it. I want you to feel it. Because again, because we're dealing with our feelings, whatever you feel is going to teach you, right? So I told you fear is the biggest thing we're dealing with out here. So that's what we have to overcome. And once we overcome that, everything is easy out here. This shit is not rocket science. Throttle, clutch, rear brake. Fear, the dumbest person in the world could be an expert on this just because they have a low fear level or they practice a lot. So remember I said 2 to 1. If I say 2 to 1, what am I telling you to do? 2, 1. So when I tell you to slowly open the clutch into the friction zone, I want your starts to be smooth unless you're doing a 2 to 1. So have you guys seen the video I did coming out of my driveway and then I went between two of my cars?
That's crazy.
Yeah, and the door handle on my truck pulled in my clutch, so I had to stop. So now I'm sitting between my cars and I want to continue to go. Now in that moment, do I want to start and have my handlebars turning one way or the other? No. So how do I ensure that my bike goes straight? 2 to 1. The 2 alone is going to make it go like this. I don't need to stay in 2, but that's the problem. That's what most motorcycle riders do. Speed is the answer to everything. It's always going to make you feel more comfortable. So if they go to 2 or even 3, they stay there. And that's why everything is so wide, so scary. So unless you use the rear brake, you could go to 2 and stay there, but you got to be on the brake. Same thing for that exercise. If you start in 2 and just start braking, brake, 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 then you should be fine. Okay? Let me show you 2 to 1. I want you to look at the front of the bike because then some people think it's something crazy, and no, it's nothing crazy. And you use it a lot when you're dealing with confined spaces. First gear, cover the rear brake, preload. 2, 1. Brake, 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 brake. Smooth stop. Clutch in. Now that 2, 1, if I do 2, 1 and I'm stopping, I might have to go back to 2 at the end of it. Do you know what I mean? It's like we're not dealing with autopilot. We're always involved in what's going on with the bike, and it's always based on what we feel. And if we address it as soon as we feel it, everything stays small.
If you have to go into 2 again, Mr. Rob, then you ride more brake?
Now my brake pretty much stays. So yeah, so in that exercise, good question. When I know I'm starting at a cone and stopping at a cone.
Right.
So my braking process is progressive. Meaning, as soon as I start moving, I need to start braking. If you wait too late to finish it, it's going to stop like that. So, as soon as I start moving, I'm on the brake, and I'm gradually braking. And the pressure I'm putting on the brake is going to be based on my distance and what I'm seeing. I got to kind of figure that out, right? Brake, 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 brake. No matter what I'm doing with this, what stage I'm in, this continues, because I still have to stop, right? Brake, 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 brake. Bing! And that's the goal. Rear brake. Brake, 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 clutch, 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 straighten out, clutch, 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 clutch. And this is when this is most important, coming out of a turn. This is always a disaster with motorcycle riding. 2 to 1 is going to be relevant But the rear brake, that's what, trust me, it's going to help you. Now, can I do this without the rear brake? Absolutely I can. The difference is now I got to be perfect with my clutch, right? I got to be perfect with it. And I'm going to be doing small variations of open close anytime I'm not using my rear brake. So even if my movements are small, I can still feel it in the bike, right? I don't want to feel that. So if I just keep the clutch where it is and just light pressure on the brake. All right, no rear brake. But if I find a good spot, I can stay here. Nope, see, I'm going in and out, because I feel it. All right, rear brake, friction brake. Oh yeah, I got my foot on the brake. Right here, I'm gonna take my foot off. See how it's just not jumping forward? Foot's on the brake, foot's on the brake. Take it off, see, not a big deal. But if I'm in the friction zone too high, see, too much clutch. Friction brake, clutch, 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 clutch. We don't stop with the handlebars turned. Okay, we want to make sure we stop with this bike squared. And how do we do that? Clutch. So the guy that told me he's coming out of the gas station, he commits to his turn and is leans slightly. And then he sees a car coming and he goes, oh crap. Again, here we go with the options. If you don't have any practice and any muscle memory in you, squeeze and hope for the best is the answer to everything. Speed and brake. There's no in between. Why? Because in between is the friction zone. If you don't live in the friction zone, it's not going to occur to you to do it. You're not even going to have the presence of mind to do it. Because if we're out here practicing in a controlled environment and you don't think about doing stuff, you really think you're going to think to do it in a moment of stress out in the real world? Hell no. So, he hits his brake, even with a slight turn, front brake. That bike's going to fall. It's not a big deal, but it is if you're in the middle of a, whatever. So what should he have done? Anyone?
He should have started out in one, rode brake.
Yeah, what he should have done first is head and eyes. Because based on his story, I know for a fact he's turning like this instead of like this. Because if he sees that car, he doesn't even commit to the turn. So I'm going to be harping on head and eyes today big time because I know whatever you do here, you're doing it out there. And this messes people up all the time. It takes some time to get used to, but we understand what keeps the bike up. Our hands and this foot. It doesn't matter where the hell I look. If I turn the bars, that's where it's going to go. So my eyes doing this is not keeping the bike up. Power to the rear wheel is. But I need to know what the hell's going on. But anyway, let's suppose he saw it and he needs to stop. You need to do a friction brake. You can't just hit the brake. And obviously, if you started turning and leaning, you can't just straighten out the bars. You need to give it clutch, because what does it want to do with power? It wants to stand up and go straight. If I give it clutch, but rear brake, friction brake, that's how it's going to stand the bike up. So when I'm coming out of that turn, friction brake, clutch, 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 brake, 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 brake. Now, of course, in his situation, it's not going to be a smooth stop. That's not a priority. Just want to stop the bike. But if I want to straighten these bars out, I need clutch, period. But rear brake at the same time. The rear brake is always going to win. I don't care what stage you're in. So don't worry about that.